Hey, what's up everyone? Nick here. Welcome back to my Resident Evil 4 Professional Difficulty No Damage walkthrough. We are moving on to level 4-3, so we're almost done with Chapter 4, which is a little sad because that means we're going to be done with the castle section of the game pretty soon, and the castle section is a lot of fun. I'd say I like the village more, but the castle is definitely a fun time. Now, at the beginning of the level, there's going to be a merchant and a typewriter, so you might want to take this opportunity to sell any treasures you might have. You should actually have a lot, because you see how I'm selling all of these treasures called, like, Blue Eye, Red Eye, Green Eye. Every time you kill a Novistador, they drop one of those, and we killed a lot of Novistadors in the last level, so you should have a lot of treasure to sell. So you'll notice I have about 115,000 currency, so I'm going to go ahead and make some upgrades. You know, as I've said throughout this entire walkthrough, there's never one point in the game where I just go crazy with upgrades. Instead, I just kind of, I litter them in every once in a while, so I just upgraded the TMP a little bit more to get the capacity higher. And that's because there's going to be a section at the end of this level where the TMP is almost essential to make the section as easy as possible. So if you remember, at the end of the last level, and real quick, we're going to do a strategy here where we're going to run past these initial enemies. We're going to run straight up to the campfire and then chuck a frag grenade and try to kill as many of the gathered Illuminados as we can. So you see right here, just run past these initial two guys, get up to the fire, throw a frag grenade in the center. It should kill most of them. You might have a couple stragglers. And then what I'm going to do is go hide around the corner of this building, turn around, take out the pistol, and go to work killing off the stragglers. Now, as I was saying, at the end of the last level, when I was fighting all of the Novistadors, I made a point to say that you don't want to use your TMP. You should stick to using the shotgun and the pistol. And I said that because I was actually using the TMP a bit more than I should have been. And the reason I recommend not using the TMP is because you're going to want to make sure to have a lot of ammo for the TMP at the end of this level. So at the end of this level, if maybe you're not as familiar with the game, at the end of this level, we have what's called, I guess, the minecart section of the game. And basically what happens is you have to jump inside of a moving minecart and follow it down the track. And as you're riding in it, a lot of enemies are going to jump down into it. And obviously, since you're in a minecart, there's no room to really run around and escape. So there's actually a trick you can do to shoot and kill almost all of the enemies without them ever having set foot in the minecart. And to do that, you kind of need the TMP. Now, I say kind of because technically you could use the pistol, but it's a lot harder. It is much, much harder. In order to do the section successfully, you're going to want to have a rapid-firing machine gun or submachine gun, in this case, the TMP. So I'll talk more about that when we get to it. This is a relatively short level. I think it's about 15 minutes long. But until we get to that section, the rest of it's actually pretty simple. Basically just some standard fights. One thing you might have noticed is we're actually not actually, this happened in the last level too, but we're no longer actually in the castle, so we're not fighting the cultists. Instead, we're on the castle grounds, and so we're fighting the regular Los Illuminados, the villagers that we came across in chapters 1 and 2. For some reason, they're on the castle grounds, but for some reason they're not on or inside of the actual castle. But yeah, level 4-3 is a lot of fun. I actually really enjoy this level, and it's really weird because I can't necessarily put into like concrete words what it is about this level that I enjoy. I think most of all it's the environment, the scenery of the level, if you will. So if you remember, at the end of in the last level, I talked about how I really hated that level. And specifically, I was saying that, you know, we went down into the mines, and the mines were pretty cool, but we didn't really get to spend a lot of time there. It was just kind of like this pointless section that didn't have a lot of meaning behind it. And granted, it's kind of the same thing here. Like you can see, instead of in the mines, we're in like this ancient-looking cave structure. But I don't know. For some reason, I just really enjoyed this scenery, and I think it might be because I'm biased. I really enjoy, you know that I love Uncharted and Tomb Raider, and something about being in these like ancient caves, it really reminds me of Uncharted. So maybe maybe there's some kind of subconscious reason that I enjoy this game. But anyway, enough about that, or this level I should say, but enough about that, let's get into the strategy. So, you saw right there, all I did was I took out the sniper rifle and I shot a few of the enemies that were in the open area. Now I'm going to actually proceed through this little maze, and you're going to see a lot of bear traps littered about. So just make sure you knife all of those so you don't waste ammo. But another reason, you want to make sure you knife all of them because we are going to be running through this section, and you don't want to trip on one of those as we're running away. Now before we move on, if you go down here, there is an enemy, so you will have to use a little bit of ammo to take this guy out. Luckily, he's a fire breather, so you can just shoot him right before he breathes the flames. He'll ignite himself, and then you can just finish the job with a knife. And of course, just my luck, he hatched a parasite, so I'm going to go ahead and use the rifle to get an instant kill right there. And then in this tomb in the center, if you push it open, you can get a treasure that's worth quite a bit, so definitely recommended to pick that up. And now, like I said, make sure you go through this entire little maze and knife all of the bear traps, because we are going to be running through this section, and so you're going to want to make sure that all of the obstacles are out of the way, because believe it or not, this section can actually be really difficult. There are 2 chainsaw enemies, and there's also a bunch of regular enemies that will storm the area once we trigger them. So you can actually hear the first chainsaw enemy right now, but you can't see him. And don't worry, because he actually cannot get you. So he is, I'm going to run back here because I think I was missing a treasure, or at least I wanted to check, and you could see that it turned out to be nothing. But, yeah, so you'll see that this chainsaw enemy, he's actually on the top floor of this structure in front of me, and he can't jump down. For some reason, he doesn't come down. He'll just stay up there for the time being. So even though you hear his chainsaw revving, you actually don't have to worry about him. Now you'll see that door on the bottom part of the structure. Do not go through that door, because there's actually 2 chainsaw enemies in this building, and one's on the top floor, one's on the bottom floor. So check out what I do here. I'm going to shoot him in the head. As soon as I shoot him in the head, he's going to fall down and be stunned for about 15 seconds. I'm going to run in here and get the key. Now I'm going to equip my shotgun. Before he gets up, I'm going to run downstairs here. There's going to be the second chainsaw enemy. I'm just going to run past him, kick open this door, run past her, run up these stairs, turn left, and go into this door here, and voila, it's that easy. You can get through that section just by anticipating the enemies and running past them. It's really easy to do. It's very efficient in terms of ammo conservation. And now you're going to come to this room here, and this room is a little tricky. You're going to take out your TMP, and it's going to be very similar to the room that we came across earlier. There's spikes coming down from the ceiling. Now, before you start shooting the spikes, make sure you shoot that parasite, turn around and shoot the second parasite, and now try to shoot at least 3 of the red lights, but you might want to look, make sure there are no other parasites coming. Coast is clear, so go ahead and shoot the other 2 things, and you can see right there out of the corner of your eye, the 3rd parasite just launched. So I'm going to go ahead and look down, and there he is. So you got to be careful, because once you shoot those initial 2 parasites, you're going to start shooting the red lights on the ceiling, and you might lose track of the 3rd parasite, because the 3rd parasite won't spawn until a little later. So just make sure, maybe shoot 2 of the lights, look down, make sure the coast is clear, and then shoot the last 2. But as with the first time we came across a room like that, the spikes move very slowly, so you really do have plenty of enough time to actually shoot all 4 lights. It's just that in this room, of course, it's a little more challenging because you also have to worry about the parasites. But again, the TMP, in my opinion, is the best weapon to use in that situation. And now we're going to carry on to the last section of the level. This is what I was talking about. This is the minecart level, or section of the level. And again, like I said, the best weapon you can use here is the TMP. So this is why I've been recommending to try to save as much TMP ammo as you can, because you're really going to want some type of rapid firing weapon for this section. I guarantee you it is going to make your life so much easier, because what's about to happen is we're going to get in this minecart and we're going to ride it through the tracks. And watch what I do here. So I'm going to look down the track, and you can actually see there are 3 enemies far off in the distance, and you can see that all it takes is 1 shot in the leg, and as long as you make contact with them on any part of their body, they will actually fall off the ledge and it will be an instant death. And that's a strategy that we're going to be using as this minecart is in motion. So check out what I do here. Here we go. We're going to set things off. I'm going to jump in the back car here. And now I'm going to take out the TMP. And you have to always be looking here. So now I'm going to look in front of me. You'll see all of these enemies up top here. I'm going to start shooting their feet. And you can see that one of them fell down to an instant death. One of them jumped down early. And then I missed this girl. So she did land in the cart, but that's not the end of the world. One enemy is a lot easier to handle than 3 enemies. And the beautiful thing about this is that it even works on the chainsaw enemies. So check this out. More enemies off in the distance. I'm going to start shooting TMP, trying to make as much contact as I can. And you can see that right there, I actually knocked every single enemy off the ledge. Not a single enemy was able to land inside of the minecart, and I hardly wasted any ammunition. So just make sure you use the TMP and just shoot very short controlled bursts. Don't go, don't spray and pray here, just very short controlled bursts, and chances are you'll make contact with the enemy. So right here, there's going to be a chainsaw enemy on the left, and you can see that I actually shot him first. He fell down onto the tracks for an instant kill. I'm going to shoot the other enemies. Now I'm going to shoot the lever. The minecart will continue its motion. And you can see that 2 enemies were able to land. Oh, make that 1. Only 1 enemy landed in the minecart there. So total, that section had about like 9 enemies, and only 1 of them landed in the minecart. And it's all thanks to this TMP strategy. And it really is a beautiful thing. It makes this section so easy. Again, right there, 3 enemies instantly killed with the TMP. And not a single one was able to land in the minecart, because you can imagine that the point of this section is to overwhelm you, because the enemies, again, there's going to be a chainsaw enemy here, shoot him off the ledge, and voila, 4 enemies instantly killed, not a single one landed in the cart. And now we're just going to continue on. There's going to be a couple enemies that I think I miss, but like I said, the whole point of this section is that the game wants to overwhelm you, because as soon as 3 enemies land in your cart, you're going to freak out, you're going to start trying to kill them, and while you're trying to kill them, the next set of enemies is going to drop in the cart. And so you can very quickly get overwhelmed, because as soon as you kill one wave of enemies, another wave is dropping into the cart, and you just get caught in this like infinite loop of enemies landing in the cart. Now you can see right here, my accuracy was just abysmal. I missed every single enemy. And like I said, that might happen, and that's the point of this section. It's meant to overwhelm you. So what am I going to do? I'm just going to take out the shotgun, make sure I knock them down. It shouldn't take too many shots, so you can see those 2 are now dead. Finish him off. Now you can see the cart is spiraling down. It's increasing its speed. That means we're at the end of this section. So get ready to press a couple quick time events. You're going to have to make a jump, and then you're going to have to pull yourself up right here. So there we go. Pull yourself up, and that is the end of this level, guys. So once again, it is a challenging section, don't get me wrong, and maybe I did make it look easier than it really is. But I guarantee you the TMP is the weapon you're going to want to use there, because you can imagine, like I said, technically, sure, you could do that section with the pistol, but if you're going to use the pistol, you have to be a sharpshooter. You have to be dead on with every shot, 100% accurate, in order to do the same thing that I achieved with the TMP, because the benefit, obviously, of the TMP is that it just shoots so rapidly that you don't need 100% accuracy. You just kind of have to shoot in the general direction of the enemies, and chances are one of your bullets will hopefully make contact. And again, when an enemy is standing on a ledge like that, it doesn't matter where you make contact, the head, the shoulder, the knees, the toes, they will fall down, and it will be an instant death. And as you saw, that same principle holds true even for the chainsaw enemies. So in the end, it also ends up saving you a lot of ammunition. But there you go, guys. Hop inside the elevator. That will bring us to the end of Chapter 4.3. In the next level, we'll be tackling Chapter 4.4, the Salazar boss fight, and unfortunately, that will bring about the end of the castle section. But for now, we're still not there. So once again, I want to thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you get the chance. As always, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video.